Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks, brought to you by Polyscience. This is Patricia Miller, Managing Editor for Cannabis and Tech Today. Speaking with me for this episode is multi-platinum best-selling singer and songwriter Melissa Etheridge. She joins us from her home studio in Los Angeles, California. Hello, Melissa.
Hey, it's me.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing very well. I'm thrilled to speak with you today.
Hey, it's a good day, huh?
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, well, for cannabis, it's a good day.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to begin with, I'd like to offer my condolences for the loss of your son, Beckett. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, it's a worldwide problem, and thank you so much.
I know that after his passing, you hosted the Heal Me concert in his honor, and now you're offering Etheridge TV, which I'm a big fan.
Oh, thanks.
What inspired you to offer 5 nights of weekly content to your fans? That's a lot. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, yes, it is. But yeah, and it keeps my wife and I very busy, and we like to be busy. We like to feel like we're creating something and joining, helping people and ourselves. And we were looking at, a year of no income. So how do we make income? And I have always believed if you entertain people, if you give them something they want to see and you delight them and they look forward to seeing you, then you can monetize that. And that's what we've done so far, and we're doing okay.
Has that been kind of an interesting experience, like not having the filter between you and your audience and your fans? I mean, it's whatever you choose to put out.
Yeah. Well, I when lockdown first happened in March, and I started doing free shows. Just every day, I would just do 3 or 4 songs, and I saw kind of what people were liking and how they got involved, and I started thinking. Then when my son died, we took a couple weeks off and built this garage streaming studio out here, and I thought, look, if I take this a step further, if I make this more professional, and I give these people, a variety of shows, a couple shows of my own stuff, and then the whole day of covers, and then a couple of more chat like fun things, give them a nice variety, then they're going to want to, then they'll subscribe and keep checking in and tell others. And so that was our whole thought.
And that's sort of what fans can expect if they purchased a subscription, right? I mean, it's unique content, and then also you're offering videos, chats.
Yep.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
it's really unique and different, and it's we have our Wednesday chat show like today. We've got Billie Jean King on, and we're talking we've had some great artists and people, just sort of, and I think the number one thing that people really vibrate with is that we're not about we're certainly not about pandering, but we're not about cynicism, and we're about lifting people up, and in a real way, in a truthful way. We're not acting like, oh, everything's fine, but it's just about lifting ourselves up and finding the answers inside ourselves and moving on, and empowerment.
I think people have really needed that this year, and it seems like you've really embraced technology as a way to connect with your audience.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine there have been some major challenges kind of getting used to performing that way. What have what have been some of your biggest hurdles?
Oh, well, from the Facebook shows we did, the concerts from home, that we did 58 of those. It was everything from, I started out just a phone you're singing in front of the phone, and the phone would fall down and things like that, to not understanding, oh, I need to turn it sideways, just all sorts of stuff. To now we've grown into, we have 7 cameras. We've got a professional switching system into a platform. We had to learn about streaming, which evidently we're on the cutting edge of it, because sometimes we ask a question and we're using these different type of streaming cameras, and we say, okay, we've got 3 of them hooked up to this, and they're like, wait, what have you got? And we've got 3 cameras. You've hooked up 3 cameras? We're the first ones doing this. So we've actually been working with some tech people, Silicon Valley people, to create what we need. And being on the edge, sometimes everything crashes every now and then. Every now and then it'll just be like, we can't get on today. But that it's happening less and less the more we understand what we can, how we can push, the cameras, what we can get out of streaming. I got to tell you, the hardest part is that my neighborhood has the worst internet in the world, and I can't get. Months we've been trying to get it upgraded here, for months, and that's probably and that's out of my control. That's like, the neighborhood here is like, no, we don't want any towers, which I understand. It's a very fancy neighborhood, but come on, give me something better. I have the worst internet, so we're doing our best with the worst. So
I think that's a struggle a lot of people have been dealing with this year.
Mm-hmm.
Something I think about a lot is what this pandemic would have looked like if it had happened 20 years ago, before we had all of this technology, and especially for artists. How do you think you and other artists would have adapted if this had happened before we had the ability to connect virtually?
Yeah, it would have been so different, and I'm not glad for a pandemic at all, but I'm glad it is now that we have this technology and we can push this technology. And I imagine if it had happened 20 years ago, we would have pushed this sort of technology up. People would have had to figure it out. But I got to tell you, without this technology, without being able to go into people's homes live from my home, I don't know. I shudder to think.
Right. Well, and I know in addition to Etheridge TV, you're also working on your own line of cannabis products, Etheridge Farms, which I'm very excited to try. Where did your passion for Etheridge Farms begin?
Well, first let me tell you that we've changed it from Etheridge Farms to Etheridge Botanicals, because we are. We want to include all kinds of plant medicine, and we want to make sure people understand that this is a medicinally focused cannabis line. And we also felt like we were misleading because we are working with farmers. We do not have our own farm. And I didn't want people, so we just recently, and we're about to launch next month, we wanted to be clear that it's botanicals, that it's organic, premium, medicinal quality, medicinally focused, cannabis tinctures and flower pre-rolls. That's what we're rolling that out next month here in California.
So when you first came up with the idea of entering the cannabis industry, what inspired that?
Well, it was 16 years ago. I was diagnosed with breast cancer and was put on a dose-dense regime of chemo, which is horrific, which was awful. And I had been a social smoker. I was not a drinker so much and I started saying, well, I like unwinding this way. But I had never thought about it medicinally. And when I went through breast cancer and started using it to relieve the pain, to get an appetite, to relieve the depression, to help me sleep, to help me just feel normal, I realized, wow, this is medicinal. This is better than the handful of pills that they said, you can take this for the pain, but it'll cause constipation, and then you got to take that, and then wow, what a horrible road of chemicals, and I'm already awash in a chemical, acid wash, is what chemo is. So, and having gone through that process using cannabis, I came out on the other end thinking, oh my gosh, this really needs to be available to anyone who wants it as an alternative in so many ways. And this is 16 years ago, before when medicinal cannabis, if you could find it, you could use it. Of course, I knew a roadie who knew a roadie who knew a guy who I could get my cannabis from. That was basically what it was 16 years ago. And I said, this has to change. So I started becoming an advocate and looking around in California where people were doing it legally and what situation. I ended up in Santa Cruz. I'm down here in Los Angeles, but Santa Cruz had such a beautiful connection to the people and to the history of cannabis grown there, and they were really trying to bring it legally and to become a big part of Santa Cruz. And so in the last 10 years, I've been working with Santa Cruz and with people there to really make a safe, secure, organization of cannabis in Santa Cruz. And so that's where Etheridge Botanicals is based. That's where we're coming out of. That's who we're working with, is the beautiful people there. And the city and the county have been just, incredible. They really understand cannabis and how it can help.
And how will Etheridge Botanicals sort of stand out from other artist-driven brands?
I hear that a lot, and the difference is this brand comes from me. I had dozens of opportunities to license, to just make a licensing deal with some company or other, and then they'd go make it and it'd just have my name on it. Mm-hmm. And that's what most of the cannabis brands, the celebrity brands are, is they, you can use my name, and then they don't really become involved. They don't do any, work for it. It's just kind of, that their name is there. And
right.
And ultimately, in the end, if the product isn't any good and it doesn't connect with the people, it's not going to work. And that's the thing about cannabis, is it really, you need to have a product that people not only like, but they keep coming back to, that is consistent, that helps them in the way that they're looking to be helped. I'm involved. I built Etheridge Botanicals. I'm involved from the, seed to sale. I know exactly what's going on. The beautiful herbalist and nutraceutical specialists that I work with, Josie and Cricket Roberto, they've done this for years. They've worked in botanicals and nutraceutical medicine. I've worked out formulas with them. This is not just a name on a brand, and I have to take the long road to proving that to people. They have to see it for themselves, and I'm prepared for that.
Every cultivator knows that facility design can make or break your grow. So why not choose the team with over 15 years of experience in the industry? Cerna Cultivation Technologies provides floor plan and architectural services, comprehensive HVACD equipment, lighting and benching, and so much more, all within your budget. It's time to grow your way. go to surna.com. That's surna.com to learn more.
Well, something I've heard you touch on a little bit is that you wanted Etheridge Botanicals to sort of make cannabis accessible for people who maybe hadn't tried it before, or particularly for women to feel like this was something that they could try.
Yeah.
What would you like first-time users or women to understand when considering cannabis as a supplement?
Well, yes, definitely, especially middle-aged women who have so many requirements, I believe, for cannabis. One is sleep, and anxiety. And, so many of us turn to, at the deep end to, Ambien, and the other end, just, a couple of glasses of wine, which both can become, over time, detrimental to the physical body. So much of Etheridge Botanicals is in research and development, research into how cannabis can help and how much. And the thing about it is we've grown used to, okay, take 2 aspirin, take, 1 Tylenol, here's the pill, and it's 1 pill does this to everybody, and that's not how cannabis works. You kind of have to find, you have a bit of your own responsibility to find, okay, this is what helps me sleep. Most people, a nice heavy indica, you're falling asleep. Some people, you have the opposite reaction. So it's a custom, a bit of a customization to the medicine. And Etheridge Botanicals, we will provide help with that from our website to your bud tenders to informing bud tenders to the information and the research and the data and how to find just what is working. Okay, 8 out of 10 women say this helps with menopause, hot flashes, whatever it might be, that we're going to touch the subjects that other people don't. It's I walk into the dispensaries, and there's a lot of young, cool, hip people, but to some middle-aged women, it's scary, and we want to provide a pathway to those who are looking for alternatives to the things that aren't working for them.
That's so needed. I'm really excited to hear how that turns out in Santa Cruz, because I think that's really an underserved demographic.
Amen.
Something I've heard you remark is that people are using cannabis medicinally whether they know it or not. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's not always a favorite quote. People are like, wait a minute, what are you saying? Yeah, I say that because I know myself. I know at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to, have my nice smoke. And I could say, that's just me recreational, but really, medicinally, it helps my spirit, it helps my body. It is a medicine that helps to relax, helps to, and when we are less stressed, our immune system works better. Mm. So you get a medicinal, the help, whether you are or not. That's what I mean.
I could agree with that. Mm. And how does the plant play a role in your creativity, or maybe it's more about healing for you?
Oh, no. There's the healing, my nice indica that I use, in the evening. But boy, when I'm ready to create something, or when I'm ready to play some great music, whatever, a good sparkly, like tangerine sativa, ooh, that just lights up the creative parts of my brain, and I just want to create. So absolutely, I think creativity and plant medicine just goes hand in hand. I think that part of our brain is wired to work with plants. I think that's the way humans and plants connect.
How do you feel about the role of artists as advocates? Because you've been advocating for the plant for 15 years, as you said.
Yeah. I don't think there's any role. I think everything is individually it's an individual calling. I have, walked my path as an artist through LGBT, through gay marriage. That I was an advocate because it absolutely affected me personally. I was an advocate, a breast cancer, awareness advocate because it affected me, and I am a cannabis activist because I believe in it and it affects me personally. Yeah, I don't think anybody should do anything. I think if it's a calling inside of you, you do what you feel.
What have you found most surprising about the legalized cannabis industry here in the States?
That it's a mess. Now, what have I find surprising? I find that a lot of people are really positive and really want to move this forward. It's a great tax revenue for our state. It helps counties and it helps education and our justice system. It was designed that way. It's also there's also just a lot of misinformation and fear that I wish we could overcome, but that just takes time. So, and the business, sometimes business comes in and stirs things up and twists it up, and I've been slowly walking this. Yes, it has been 15 years, very slowly walking this, but I believe that if I walk this slowly, if I don't take the quick, hey, here's a bunch of cash right now, because I saw so many of my friends take the quick money and they lost their company. They don't have it anymore, and the Canadians just came down and grabbed everything, and I'm still chugging along and slowly rolling stuff out. So I'm enjoying the journey. It's a little expensive, but I'm enjoying it.
All right. Well, what do you think the future holds for Etheridge Farms? Do you have plans for expanding?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We are rolling it out in California first, getting a solid setting there, showing, because I spent years trying to get people to, jump on the wagon and with just a dream, and I'm looking forward to actually having real numbers that they can see, the products, they can see the profits or whatever they need to see. And once we do that in California, then we can start rolling this out in other states. And someday that glorious federalization, legalization will come, and then we'll be the Johnson & Johnson of cannabis.
Well, lastly, Melissa, is there anything you'd like me to take away from our discussion that maybe we didn't hit on today?
No, just that we're slowly doing this, and it's a long journey, and I'm going to be around for a long time, and just sit back and watch us grow.
I love it. Well, I'm so grateful I had the opportunity to speak with you. I'm really a big fan of what you're doing. The production quality is amazing, and it's so genuine.
That's my wife. My wife is in, television production. She did Nurse Jackie and 70 shows, so she knows all. So she's really helped me. So I'm lucky to be married to her. Anyway.
Well, it really shows. It's beautiful, and it's a genuine connection that I think people are really looking for. So much respect.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Melissa. It was a real pleasure, and I look forward to trying some Etheridge botanicals myself when the line debuts.
Yay! Thank you much.
All right, take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed today's episode of Cannabis Tech Talks, be sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Apple, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can pick up our most recent issue on Barnes & Noble newsstands across the country, or grab a copy for free on Canatechtoday.com. That's all for this episode of Cannabis Tech Talks, brought to you by PolyScience. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay elevated.
Hey, hello, I'm Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. Wait, you didn't think people would know who I am? Durachill. This is Durachill. This is Durachill. This is Durachill. No, hey, I don't talk like that. You want me to sell this? Buy it. Try Durachill or else. If you want something really nice in your laboratory, buy Durachill. You can't go wrong.